All right, Chef, man. I appreciate you sitting down with me after I embarrassed myself making that Michelin meal.
You crushed it, man.
Come on, give me the grade, the letter grade, A through F.
I would say 99.9. You got A+++, man.
You're being kind because you think I'm gonna grill you, and you're right. No, I promise. This will be painless. So, the first question to me is the easiest one. Like, where does your passion for food come from?
Wow, I think it's just something that my grandmother was the closest to a chef. She was a cafeteria clerk, so we'd have to have a menu every day of the week for these kids. And my mother kind of picked that up. And so through cooking and growing up, my mother would cook for us all the time. So now, she's an amazing cook. And I think just her having that influence from my grandmother was incredible to have. And I love food, man. It comes down to just like loving food. I love to eat, I love to explore, I love to eat different types, go to different restaurants, cuisines that I never tasted before. I just enjoy food.
I love that. So, you're in the Latinx community, specifically you are Mexican, correct?
Correct.
And I just want to make sure I get this right, because I still find it hard to believe. You're the only Latinx or Mexican Michelin star chef in the Napa Valley. Is that correct?
Correct. I was born in Mexico City.
Gotcha.
I grew up I came to the States when I was very young. My mother, I was 26 when she brought us to the States. Did a stint in Los Angeles, but I always say I grew up in Northern California. Okay. And that's where kind of the beginning of my culinary career began, and inspiration. And so all through that trajectory, I kind of felt like I missed out on Mexican cooking. It's just there was nothing that I could, anybody at a higher stage than I was at as a chef. It was kind of hard to find. It was more kind of cooking out of Europe, French and Spanish and Italian. So there was no fine dining Mexican chef. That was not a thing.
Crazy.
Yeah, so I think just being in fine dining in Napa, I kind of wanted to kind of bring those two together, my roots and then the experience that I have in just, growing up in this region of America.
So, you opened up Auro.
Right.
And literally a year later, you well earned, your Michelin star. Like, how did that feel in that moment? Can you describe the process? Because I know it's changed. I think back in the day, you used to get the phone call. Now they do like the award ceremony. But like, talk to me, like everything leading up to that, the preparation to when you finally, stood on stage or got the call. You've earned this.
Surreal, man. Like I still can't believe it to this day. It's something that I've looked forward to. Since I began, started as a cook. I didn't know if it was even achievable. And there were many nights where I felt like I was not even close. I felt like I felt. Restless nights, just thinking of all the things you did wrong and how you could have done better. Just being a hard critic to yourself and to be able to actually accomplish that was such a, humbling experience, but also such a gratitude moment for me. I'm just grateful to be up there and be able to represent, Mexican cuisine in Northern California, and that kind of hint of the training from France, right? But it was incredible. It's a moment that's gonna be forever with me, and I'm just so excited. But seeing my mother's face, like seeing her be super proud and her getting, congratulated at her work with these, she's a nurse, so she works at a hospital, obviously, but there's doctors going up to her and congratulating her, and I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for her, because she grew up in Mexico and eventually wanted to come to the States. So she's the one that I'm here because of her, and I'm truly grateful that she brought me to Northern California.
How do you infuse your heritage into your style of cooking here?
I think it's subtle. It's the way that I incorporate the cuisine is very, very subtle. Like I said, I researched it. It's through a lens of a chef that grew up in Northern California. So I'm Mexican. I grew up eating Mexican food. My mother's an amazing Mexican cook. And then kind of binding that with the training of France. I mean, French cuisine holds a special place in my heart because that's what I started cooking. Okay. I was reading books. I was trying to figure out how to, cook coq au vin and cassoulets and stuff like that. And so later down the years, when I was really researching Mexico, I got equally as inspired to see what was out there, but even more so, just the connection, things that I didn't even know because I grew up in Northern California. So the division of the borders was something that I didn't realize how now it became a new cuisine, right? Like Northern California Mexican cooking. It's what this book is all about. It's through a lens of a Northern California chef that's Mexican. They grew up in this beautiful region of Northern California, and it's gonna tell the story as he only knows how, which is through food.
I love that. So taking that further, and I know you're a humble man, but you are, come on, you are. But are you ready for the second star, right? Are you ready? Come on, give it to me straight.
I mean, am I ready?
Are you ready for it?
I am ready.
Okay.
But, there's a lot of planning and there's so much more to that, It's a huge responsibility as well. Yeah. I mean, is the team ready? 100%. Is the front of the house, the wine, everything. I would say we're ready for, 12 Michelin stars if we can, But it comes down to like that like consistency. It comes down to the high level of performance, attention to detail, and I'm just at the end of the day, we win some, we lose some, but I'm 100% ready, and I think we're definitely deserving of it if it ever comes.
So can you describe a dish from Auro that really represents your cultural heritage?
Yeah, so one of the dishes I would say that represents what we do here would be the squab.
Okay. So they're like what we just made?
What we just made.
Okay.
The squab is something that, traditionally is used in, I would say, more of French cooking. Mm-hmm. Squab duck is pretty similar. And then you have, they're from California, so they're from, the East Bay. And then we have these beautiful cherries that is paired with that, right? So that's the Northern California ingredient, the seasonality that comes into play. But I think for me, the special thing also is the mole, is that sauce. Yeah. That sauce that it represents where I come from, right, which is Mexico. It's a sauce, it's the mother sauce of Mexico. It has a lot of stories to be told. It's different every time you make it. Mm-hmm. And it's different in every household, in every state, in every village. And to be able to put that in Napa has been such an amazing thing for me to just represent that culture, which is my roots, my culture.
What would you say to young people from your community that are aspiring to be chefs, right? So let me provide you some context, right? We're gonna go emotional on this, right? Little 10-year-old, 10 or 11 years old, Mexican, Latinx community. You're standing next to in an elevator. They're literally looking up to you, figuratively and literally, right? And they say, "Oh my God, Chef Garcia, I want to be you when I grow up." What's the advice you give to them in like 90 seconds?
I would say be patient.
Okay.
I would say learn as much as you can.
Okay.
Whatever you don't know, surround yourself with people that know it and try to absorb as much as you can. You're not gonna know everything, but I do think the people you surround yourself with is important. And I think the biggest thing that was told to me when I was a young cook is pretty much always go home. Like stay away from anything outside of the focus that you want to get and accomplish. So just and have family close, family and friends, because those will get you through, the tough times and the good times. But I think I would say that to somebody that's looking to succeed in the culinary industry, but just overall, it's a thing that I hold dear to my heart because it is about going back and spending time with family and friends, and they're the ones that are going to be there with you, but also keeping the focus at all times.
So how do you stay inspired and motivated as a chef?
How do I stay inspired as a chef? I would say it's the guests and the staff. I think those two are inspiring in itself. When you have cooks who are, there with you day in and day out and are able to sacrifice time off with their families, and they're, are eager to learn, eager to just perform at the highest level of excellence, it's super inspirational to me. And then also the guests, when the guest comes in and they're experiencing what we do here and they leave and they either leave a great review or they leave a comment or, they shake my hand before they leave and they have an amazing time because they could have chose anywhere to go. And the fact that they're here and believe in what we do, it's super inspirational. So when I go home, I'm always grateful that those moments are something that, I'm not really sure if any other industries are able to kind of, have that, but it's incredible to be able to, to have that direct contact with the employees and the guests.
So what's next for you? And maybe I'll do a shameless plug. Let me grab this really quick because I've been seeing this on the table and I'm still waiting for my autographed copy, by the way. So I think what we have here is, all right, his new book. I'm gonna let you introduce it.
Thank you.
Go for it.
Thank you. CONVIVIR, Modern Mexican Cooking in California's Wine Country.
Okay.
It's something that took me about 4 years to put together.
Okay.
The photography is by John Troxel. So he is an amazing photographer. He did such an amazing job with the book. There's so many recipes that I've wanted to kind of put there that I grew up cooking, but also just refine as I went through my career. The history of it, the stories that I went through, right? And it's just a book that just means a lot to be able to share it. Okay. And again, like the wineries, there's pairings with wineries that also have been super supportive through my career. So I'm just so excited to finally to be released in September 17th. You can pre-order it on Amazon now. Okay. And yeah, I hope everybody likes it.
Now again, you kind of gloss over my question. Do I get my autographed copy from you, or
you do?
Okay. And you're gonna sign your real name this time, right?
I will. I will. I have. This is actually the first copy. So so I just got this last week. Okay. But yeah, I mean, we're excited to promote it. Excited to be in Napa and for it to be out in Napa Valley. So, yeah.
What's next for you and Auro? Like, what do you foresee for the next 6 months?
For the next 6 months, I would say, finish the year strong. Go into our fall menu, our winter menu, and then, attract the guests that have been coming here back, and then hopefully get more that become loyal guests to our restaurant. Yeah.
How has Four Seasons supported you in your career? Because you've been here a little over a year.
Yeah. Well, yeah, so I've been here 2 years. A little over 2 years now.
Right,
yeah. So how they supported? I mean, tremendously. I think that, I wouldn't be able to have the restaurant if it wasn't for them to believe in me, in myself. So we originally this was going to be all trust. So it was going to be trust living room and trust dining room. And when I came in, I said, what if we do a different concept? What if we do a concept that tells the story of myself, the terroir that's here, and just really highlights Napa, but at that high level. And the goal is to see how far we can attract the guests, and let's see what happens. And they were all for it. They believed in me, and it's a great company because one of the things that I enjoy about it is the high level of standards. Okay. I feel like in fine dining, that has always attracted me to be with, and it just aligns perfectly with what I want to accomplish. So it's great.
All right, my friend. Any final word before I get you out of here? Because I know you have things to do.
I do.
All right.
So, me llamo Rogelio Garcia. Gracias por escuchar esto. Les quiero presentar mi nuevo libro, CONVIVIR. Tienen historias aquí de Napa, recetas de donde crecí, recetas de mi mamá. Y los quiero invitar al restaurante Auro si están en Calistoga. Muchas gracias.
All right. And Robert, thank you so much for your time, man. Thank you. Appreciate you, brother.
Of course, man.